Welcome, Brent. Thanks for taking some time and being with me today.
Absolutely. How you doing, bud?
And I am to say I'm tickled is an understatement.
Yeah.
Would those that are listening, watching, or however you're ingesting this little conversation don't know is recently you and I got to spend, and I'm not going to say I'm going to say it the way it's meant to be said and not the way it sounds. We spent 3 days and nights together.
That was yeah. It was a great week for sure. We had a lot of fun. We went across town and everything.
Yeah, Brent, what just sat through our 3 day introduction to commercial property inspections, and it's our basically I don't want to say a boot camp, but it's our introduction to the commercial inspection world, and it was cool having you in the class.
And yeah, absolutely. Not to boost you too much, but dude, you're an awesome instructor, man. I had a lot of fun. You were very engaging. I'm horrible at sitting in one spot for a long periods of time, and you made sure that the class was focused, and it was a lot of interesting topics, and the amount of stuff I learned in there was, yeah, I was able to apply it right away when I got out.
Well, we'll get to some of that, and thank you. I can't sit either. As you sat through that class, I make sure I get my steps in no matter the size of the room.
Yeah, you're back and forth. I just wanted to fall around with you for a minute. It's just like,
You probably that could have been fun too. We could have probably figured out a skit to do.
right.
Now,
Get a little circle pit going for the class. Have been great.
yeah, I think we could have some fun with that. I want to start. I mean, for those that don't know Brent, you're a home inspector
hmm
in Fort Collins, Colorado, or that northern swath of the
Yeah,
Colorado
Northern
area.
Colorado. I'm all over Colorado, but yeah, that's my home base.
Excellent. And you run how many inspectors are in your firm now?
So we got 5 employees. I just put out an ad to get a sixth, maybe a seventh. But there are 3 of us full-time home inspectors that are just out in the field every day. Yeah, busting out. I think we're doing about 100 inspections a month, give or take.
That's fabulous. And so let's go backwards a little bit because I think there's an evolution here. This is the building your business for the CCPIA. So I think we need to find your origin story a little bit. What got you into residential inspection?
Yeah, so it's kind of a fun story. So I bought my first house right when COVID was getting kicked off, and I had no idea what a home inspection was or you needed a home inspection. I was just, my real estate agent said you got to do this to get the, appraiser and all that. So just called this guy up, he came to my house, he had his ladder, he had his tool belt, he did a great job. No complaints there. But I was just like, man, that looks like something that I could really get in with. I have a long history of construction, everything from roofing, electrical, plumbing. And then I also always been working different businesses trying to find my place and being an entrepreneur. And then when I saw all that, short story long, when I closed on my house because of what he found, I ended up getting all closing cost covers and a $6,000 check cut to me. I took that check and signed up for home inspection classes that very day. And I just started taking all the classes, and then, yeah, I just kind of grew from there and worked it.
I know for me, I have a little bit of an attention issue, and so, and so home inspections is squirrel.
Yeah,
You know,
right. And I think that's one of the great things about being a home inspector is if you have ADHD and you want to look at a million different things at once, and you also love rabbit holes, home inspection or even commercial inspection is a great focus for that because it's you versus a house or a building, and I love that
yeah,
aspect.
and I used to do 3 a day, so 3 different times a day, I got to see a new puzzle, a new client.
Yeah, right. And just it's a very fast-paced, very vocal job. You're very interactive with people, and I don't know. I haven't found anything I disliked about it yet. I even like the attics and crawl spaces.
Let's see, I don't like spiders and I don't like snakes, and
I
so
don't do snakes. I will not do snakes, but we don't have a lot of those out here in Colorado. But that'll probably be the end of my career. I see some inspectors on some areas that they show all these photos. I'm like, nope.
Snakes? No, I lived in Colorado for 3.5 years, and there was a golf course I played twice a week that I knew if my ball went off the fairway, I didn't go get it.
Yeah. You get some like rattlers or
Yeah,
yeah.
I heard them.
Oh, I've seen quite a few of those out here backpacking and whatnot. So they are a thing.
Yeah, so no, I'm happily can say I didn't do any home inspections in the state of Colorado for that reason. Now, I know we're going to get a little bit of traction on this conversation because you have a face that's all over the internet. Yeah, you are. I don't like using the word influencer. I don't.
I like content creator.
You're a content creator. You make a lot of videos and you have a lot of fun in it.
Yeah.
What got you started doing that?
So, if it depends on how far back you want to go. I always
got all the time in the world.
Got all the time in the world. Back when I was in high school, those were the big VH1 and the MTV days. I loved music videos, and more so, I always wanted to be a part of it. More so than being in the music video, I loved how they fit the vibe of the song by I don't know what you want to call the directors or what producers, and how they made it all together. So I always kind of wanted to do something like that. And as we're fast forwarding forward, there's Vine. I kind of missed that whole one, and then TikTok really came out and had the editor in there, and really gave you the option to do it. So now we're going to the second step. When I first started my business, I didn't even know how to post on Instagram, Facebook, didn't have any of the other stuff. So when I realized what was going on with TikTok, that sparked my interest. Now, when I first started my business, I had a lot of things going on in my life, and I necessarily didn't have enough hours in the day to get out and network with people. I still work in a full-time job, but I knew if you wanted to be successful, the hardest part is getting clients. And the only way you're going to get clients is by putting your face in front of them. So therefore, I was like, wow, why don't I just post every single day and try to friend request every real estate agent in my area. And then once I started building that platform, I really started diving into videos. And I was like, man, now I can create stuff and market at the same time so I can grow a business I currently have following an old dream that I've always had. And by combining those two, now I got Fletcher's Home Inspections.
So it was really fixing an itch.
Yeah, pretty much. It was, it's a lot of small things over the years that led up to make something. This wasn't my first business either. I had 2 failed businesses that I tried throughout my 20s and 30s, try to get those up and running, and I learned so much from every little piece of those. So once you kind of get to that point in your life, you're trying to figure out what direction you want to take it, you start putting everything together, and eventually it created something, and who would have thought, right?
Yeah. It's interesting to me because I don't come from, I am old enough. My wife and I were just having lunch, and we were talking about the those segments of generations, the boomers, the Gen X's, the Gen Z's, and all those classifications. And I really never thought about classifications like that, but I am of an age that, I remember being at college, and I remember having the one TV in our dorm room that was in the community center that never switched a channel. It was on MTV, and all, going to, just imagine if that stuff was around when that craze.
I remember in high school, we had that old, the shoulder sitting VHS tape, and we would still, as kids, we'd go around doing skateboarding videos and try to piece them together. You'd have the 2 videos, record and play, trying to make a video happen.
Oh yeah, but I remember those days of spring break where Daytona Beach would have 400,000 or 500,000, spring breakers down there. Just imagine if they all had phones.
Right.
Making content.
The crazy stuff you could have seen.
Or you would have blown up the internet.
Internet's forever, so now that's something we're doing.
Yeah, exactly. So I have watched your stuff. We have become friends. And I've been catching this stuff, and I have to say, I know it's great stuff, and it's very home inspection centric. And I made an offhanded comment to you, and I know I made it during class, and I repeated it, then apologized for it, when we were having a beer after class, is I'm not, I'd love to have a little bit, maybe you don't want to tingle it, maybe you don't want to let anybody know, but you have ideas, don't you, on how to take this internet idea and the content creating into the commercial world.
I do. I have some plans that I've been working on. I don't want to get into them yet because, yeah,
No.
you talk about stuff too much. You never tell someone the poem you're writing until it's finished, right?
Yes.
All I know is the direction I want to take it is what I've always believed is true with any of my content is I want to have fun with it, because if it's not fun, then why would I do it? So as long as you're having fun with it, and if you can help some people and educate outside of that, that's kind of the whole goal overall.
I like that, and I'm looking forward to seeing it play out, and I'm looking forward to, and I don't want to say you proving me wrong, because I've already admitted that I'm wrong, but you proving now my new hypothesis that it's going to be spectacular.
Oh, that's awesome. Those are big steps to fill right there.
It's because I think you can do things that I could never do.
I think one of the cool aspects about that you're really going to see is, opening the doors to a lot of these places that most people visit every day and they can't. How cool would it be to do an old Pizza Hut?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like the behind the scenes, these are what the kitchens are. These are what that. I think that would spark a lot of interest for a lot of people to kind of see all these areas that they've never seen before.
Yeah. A few months ago, I got the opportunity to take 25 of our colleagues into a 12-story building in downtown Phoenix.
Oh, yeah.
And go through 300,000 square foot of places you'll never see.
Yeah, and people have no idea, like, how do these buildings run? And you can get into those areas, show what, I don't know if it's a boiler or if it's whatever, the heating and the electrical panels that are the size of a house.
Yeah, yeah, because and that's what sparked the curiosity for me a decade or more ago when I divorced myself entirely of residential and focused entirely on commercial, was that idea of jazzing up, getting a new perspective.
Yeah.
Of
behind those walls, yeah.
Of simple things. And so I ask you, so what was, coming from the 3-day class that you just attended, what was your biggest eye opener?
There was quite a few things that I really took away from that. The one thing that I really liked is the clientele is going to be very different from it. And you did a nice touch on that this is a lot more transactional and not so emotional like a house. So when you're getting into this, going in with that mindset, I don't know, I kind of like that overall feel for it. Makes it a little easier. I don't know if that makes it easier, but you know what I'm saying on that end. It's a lot more approachable than I thought it was. You brought that up. I think that's one of the quotes you said in there, that you want to be approachable. Going into commercial inspections seems so big and out of reach for so long for me. I remember, so I actually signed up for the CCPIA class, started it, felt a little overwhelmed, and I put it away for over a year. And I did not reopen the coursework. And my buddy was like, yeah, I just took the coursework. It was awesome. You should try it. So I reopened it with a different viewpoint at that. And I actually got the online certification relatively quickly at that point. And then going into the class, it's nothing I don't already know from doing home inspections. It's just on a larger scale and focusing what the client's needs are more than the structure of the ComSop, if you will.
Yeah, I often use the analogy of the shopping cart in the grocery store. Of every client has a different shopping list, and that's probably where it becomes a lot of fun, is unpacking their shopping list for them, so that you can go to the grocery store.
Yeah, they might have an idea what they're looking for, but you're also there to guide them. What's your business? What are you doing? What's the most important to you? And then kind of get that. That's I'm guessing that's an approach you'd take. Yeah. Yeah,
at least for me, it helps me, interact with the client in a more grounded, friendly manner than than a home inspection. Not saying that in a poor way. Of this is static. It never changes.
Yeah.
You know, this is all we do because you need this in this a small period of time. No, in commercial, it's a little larger
Yeah,
breath.
exactly. You get a little, you're moving box A to rack B with home inspections, and you just kind of
Yeah.
pumping them out. I mean, like I said, we're doing 100 this month, and they're all the same. They're all the same layout. When you get into a commercial, yeah, you're going a little outside the box, which is kind of fun, I find.
Now you've always done commercial. It probably in
Yeah.
all the years you've been in business.
That day it was a lot more. Sorry, did I cut you off?
Yeah, no,
Back in the day, it was I did commercials, but it was a lot more like a 10-unit apartment building. So it was a lot what was residential, but it was still. And I probably gave those people way more than they needed because I got every little nook and cranny and scratch on the wall of those reports. But recently, yeah, I've done some fun ones. I got to do a firehouse. That was really fun. There was no pole to slide down, but going through. I know, right? That's all I wanted. But just seeing where they park the fire engines and you have the extra exhaust to take out all the carbon monoxide and all that stuff, and really breaking that down was, I don't know, I had a great time doing that.
did you do that before or after the class?
That was right before the class.
Okay.
And
Do you think the online training that you did helped you approach that building differently than you would have if you just walked into that thing?
So what I learned from the online classes, which I feel like I know way more after the class from, but was just the parking lot area and drainage. Really getting into that and make sure that was all correct. Exit signs, especially with a fire station, you want to make sure that's all correct. And I think one thing that was touched on, I believe that was in trade scores, you said something like fire hydrants, you need a 3-foot clearance around it. They didn't have it at the firehouse.
Hey,
And I got to call at the firehouse for not having a proper clearance on their
cobbler's kids wear no shoes.
Yeah, so, but no, I definitely got some good takeaways from the online course when I got there. But I still felt going into that I was rusty. There was still some things, and I did treat it a little bit more like still like a home inspection because I wasn't fully prepared to pull everything apart into a Comstop style. So I was just kind of using my general template and added, lots and grounds, and then I did a whole safety section. But really, my report was kind of the same as a home inspection report. Now I'm going to rebuild everything from ground up.
Okay. I have to laugh because when you mentioned about exit signs, just as the one thing, our number one watched video on YouTube for our entire association is on emergency exit signs.
Really? Yeah. It's you don't think about it in home inspections because it doesn't even come up.
Yeah.
I have a whole section just for make sure that those are properly in place and ready to go.
Can you think of your most challenged commercial inspection you've performed to date?
Oh man,
the one that gave you the most fits.
The one that I had the most difficult time with that you learned, and I don't know if it was actually the building itself, but this one there was 15 units, is working with all the tenants.
Yeah.
And getting through every single one of those, and you do have the building manager and they're on their schedule trying to get you through everything and trying to juggle all of that. I think that was one of the most difficult ones I had. It took a 8-hour job and stretched it into a 15-hour job waiting for access.
So do you think after the class you took, you'd have a different point of view and a different way you'd tackle that job?
I definitely would, because I was tackling it like a home inspector. So each unit I was taking an hour and 15 minutes going through and putting little scratches on walls. The person that's probably did not care about any of that. They probably wanted to know, maybe appliances and is it structurally sound, that type of thing. So I probably could have cut that time in half if I would have known it, and been a lot less of an inconvenience for the people involved if I would have asked the right questions for the person that was buying it, what they really wanted.
That's I hear that more times than not, especially in this transitional time.
Yeah.
Where you're wearing dual hats. What do you think your biggest challenge is going to be moving forward in the launching of the commercial side for you?
I think it's with anyone. It's always well, one, I'm going to rebrand, get a new logo, a new website. So call that a challenge, if you will. I find that exciting and a lot of fun
Yep.
as an entrepreneur. I love that aspect of building the business. And then it's always going to be the next step, clientele. How are you going to get the clientele? How are you going to market yourself and get out there? That's going to be a little bit of a hurdle, figuring out how to bring more of those in. Luckily, I already have a brand and I'm just decently well known in my area, so that right there will generate revenue within itself. And then, yeah, after that, building my, I don't know how you want to play it, your shopping cart. How are you going to build your shopping cart list? What is going to be my spiel when I'm really getting to tackle these bigger and bigger buildings to figure out what they actually want?
And I can see that, and know, as part of it, as being a member of the association, you can always lean on us. Do a coaching call, ask questions. We're here to help.
Don't worry, Rob.
But like when I think of an entrepreneur in the position you're in, you're in a cool spot. And what I mean by this is you've got 3 to 7 inspectors working for you. Somewhere in there, probably depends on seasonality, and you've got yourself up here as the top of the totem pole, or the person that's the potentate in charge, so to speak.
The person who gets blamed. None of the all the blame, none of the glory.
Exactly. And are you going to rebrand as a new company? Are you going to rebrand as a new division? How have you thought through this?
Yeah, I think I would probably, so it's a little bit of half and half. I would rebrand the name. I may start as a DBA and see it go from there. But I was going to keep my same black and yellow color schemes. So it is closely related. So, if we have 2 vehicle rolls, they're both black and yellow, we kind of advertise it in that sense. So, and I'm going to keep it the same family feel kind of did. So, I don't know, just the friendly home inspector, right?
Yeah, I got it.
So
I got
it's
it.
gonna be the same brand with a different name. But so if I'm marketing to a real estate agent that I've already been working with the last half a decade, they're going to feel like I actually am the same person coming in. I'm not just throwing them a curveball. Because the relationships I've built are pretty strong out here. So I want to keep that.
Oh gosh, yeah. Because when I think of it, the challenge would be is if you're rebranding, and if you do a complete rebrand, that means you've got a commercial side and a residential side. They never talk to each other, and that's difficult. It's difficult in payroll. It's difficult in management. I like the way you're doing it, because you're gonna eliminate the home side in your name and be able to foster the commercial side, all the while, like you said it, keep the family feel.
It's the same brand, different name. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of getting in there. So people trust the quality of work that we provide out here. So hopefully that'll carry right over to the inspections without skipping a beat.
I often talk to people of how they're going to enter into the business, and it's almost to a person that they're going after the latter versus the former. They're going after that idea of, I'm an inspector. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a dry robot out here doing this. I'm basically doing this.
There's a face. There is somebody doing it.
Yeah. There's actually a service going on that's of service, and not a service that's being provided to be a service. You know what I mean? And so I like that.
Yeah, I'm really excited to really get all the branding up and going, and making the logos and putting them on the car, getting the first car wrapped and all that stuff. So, like I said, I've done a handful of commercials over the last couple of years, but really diving into making it more of its own entity. That's really what I'm looking and getting excited about.
How do you plan on helping the clients through some of these larger projects? I mean, are you thinking about capping some of them? Or are you going to go after every job that comes in?
That's a good question, because I'm definitely a go-getter, and I'll say, yeah, absolutely, I can get that done for you. And I'm like Googling, how do you get that done, type of person. But I do want to. I think in the last couple of years, I've been learning to scale at a comfortable level a little bit more. So, when it comes to anything residential, residential aspect, an office building, whatever that. But if you're getting into more of the industrial type buildings, I might have to take a little step back and look at the size and the components before I know if it's the right job for me. Because at the end of the day, I want to make sure the client's getting what they deserve as I'm getting into it.
Do you think, I like that. Do you think that you'd be able to, I mean, parlay some of now this approachable aspect of it to maybe turn that mindset or ratchet it up a couple of steps,
Yeah.
going, you know what, maybe it's not scary.
See that I think that was just happened right there. Is that you can always outsource aspects of it. I was back to a residential home inspector mindset for a second, but yeah, if you get into a large building, I can do the bathrooms, I can do the kitchens, I can do the structure. I know how to do all that stuff. So you start picking apart what you do know, and once you get that out of the way, what's left? And then, okay, do I need to outsource these? Are these a little bit out of my wheelhouse? You have that option a lot more with commercial than what you
Yeah.
would residential. So that coming in there, yeah, I don't know if then, yeah, I don't know what would scare me then, because a structure, I could do a structure all day long. That's
Yeah.
not a problem. Plumbing, basic plumbing, that follows the same rule. Water falls. I mean,
Yep.
it's pretty straightforward on that. So
It only rolls downhill.
yeah, it can only go one way. Toilets flush
Yeah.
is what it is. But yeah, some of those larger components like electrical, I mean, you shouldn't be opening those anyways.
Right.
So if that's a big concern, then you get an electrician out there for them, and you just document what they say and have it for the client ready. That's one thing we learned in your class too, and online. But yeah, I mean that really stuck a lot more when we were in there. Is yeah, get the right person for the right job, and you can oversee it, if you will.
Yeah, I think you said it earlier. I really do understand from the point of view of the student or the point of view of somebody coming into this that this is all approachable. It's the same language. They don't write a different code book for commercial as residential. We're just dealing with a much larger, more complex box.
Yeah, but it's all a box.
It's all a box.
It's just like they all do the same thing. So yeah, it's yeah, definitely was not as scary as I thought it was. I was really surprised. I put that course down for a year after I signed up, getting intimidated in the first week of it, and then I realized, yeah, it really wasn't that much to chew.
So being relatively new, again, you've been doing it for a few years, but now you're fresh and invigorated and you've got these freshman eyeballs,
Yeah.
so to speak. Where do you see the next 5 and 10 years going for commercial inspections?
As a whole,
Yeah.
I feel commercial in the last 2 or 3 years is so much more known now than what it was. The interest of people that I see getting into it, I think it's, I feel like that even with home inspection, it's still the Wild West in what direction it's going to go. It's going to get shaped, it's going to get structured. As you move forward, you already have the platform of the foundation of the structure. So where companies are going to grow off of that, I think it's going to be very common practice, and everyone's going to have the people they work with, especially if they're investors. So I think it's one of those things, if you get into it now, it's going to be very lucrative moving forward because, yeah, where do people go? Most people don't know the local commercial inspector now, and I feel like that's going to change moving forward.
Where do you think technology is going to go?
The technology, oh, that's,
Yeah.
man, you can do just about anything anymore with AI and all that now, can't you?
Well, if you listen to real experts, it still's going to take the eyeball and the intervention right.
Yeah, I mean, I think, everyone says AI is going to take over, you're going to get all that, and technology is going to take over. If you don't have somebody that understands it and operates it, it's not going to go anywhere.
Right.
So you got to grow with it. Don't shove it to the corner. Don't be like, I don't need. No, grow with it, because if you don't, someone else will, and they're great tools. Using a ChatGPT is the same as using a flashlight, shining a light on something to give a clearer picture. So if you can incorporate that into your commercial inspection, I think that's going to be huge.
We're going to have a lot of different people listening to this and watching this. What would you say to those people that are on the fence? What do you think their most critical mass is to get them to go over and say, you know what, I think commercial might be my next step?
Well, I say, you don't know it's a great fit until you get into it. But if you are already owning a home inspection company, or you're even looking at this, you're an entrepreneur at heart, and if that's where you're at, take the next step. The class is, even being a CCPIA member, it's not breaking the bank. Sign up for it, check it out, get to know more about it. You never know what could happen. It could be a whole career path or a future for you.
Have you had to invest in any special new equipment just to do commercial?
I already have a pretty good stock of everything. I did like that one, was that moisture detector.
The roof scanner, yes.
The roof scanner was awesome. That'd probably be something that I'd really like to get into. But man, I like toys, so that's my pastimes. I think flashlight, screwdriver. That can get you a lot of the way around what you need to. And if you want to invest in it, you got the radon systems, you got the mold detection systems, and all that too.
But nothing extraordinary.
No, probably even a little bit less because you're not, digging into it as much as you are in different areas of the house. So, tool belt, you're good to go.
So I know you said some wonderful, nice things earlier.
Were we live for that?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't take compliments well. I take beer well, but not compliments.
Right. Well, beers will take a compliment, and that's your takeaway from the 3-day introduction class. Give me some deeper impressions you got. If you really want to get to, there's a couple different areas. You have a lot of great sayings that really helped a lot of things stick, and that was one thing that I focused on. That dog won't hunt was a good one, and just kind of going through there. But overall, I felt like it was easy to process and comprehend and understand on a large scale. That's a lot of information. You had 2 8-hour days or so with a break in the middle. And then, the last day, it's a lot of information to take in, and it felt like it was easy to process, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
It was a little bit easier than me doing the online courses, which was fine. It's still you, but when you're actually there and engaging with me, it was a lot easier to get through it all.
We did a mock inspection at the end of the class. It was House of Worship built in 1927 in Southern California. So the takeaway is it's a house of worship in Southern California that's 100 years old. Mm-hmm. So it hasn't fallen down.
No, it has not. But it has old building problems.
We went through, and I think that was roughly 8,500, 9,500 square foot. With all of the different layers of the building. Mm-hmm. We walked about every square inch of that building in what was it, 3 hours, 3.5 hours?
Yeah, somewhere right around that time.
Telling stories, touching, feeling, licking, all of the aspects of the building. Did you think walking to that building, it was going to be difficult, and walking out of that building have a different feeling?
Looking at that as I was walking up to it, I was kind of thinking like, man, if I was to do this one on my own and no one was here with me, what would this take? And it was like, dude, this would be like an all-day job. This would be out here in every nook and cranny. And then I kind of realized throughout as we were walking through there, it's a much broader picture of the condition of the room. Not, the little dings and dangs here and there. So you're kind of giving the overall picture of the condition of the building. So walking out of there, like I said, is a lot more digestible.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So getting out of that, I don't know. I enjoyed it.
So when you said you were going to be there all day, now let's project between we got there and we left. Now how long would it have taken you?
Oh, dude, that was, 3-4 hours.
The purpose that we have these mock inspections is at the end of the 3 days is to punctuate the 3 days.
Yeah.
is to say that this isn't the toughest thing in the world. It's a critical thing. You got to be good at it, but there's a comfort level you can garner from 2.5 days of really intense education.
Yeah. It was a lot. It was a lot of information.
And then actually see it in an active live format.
Right together pretty quickly.
That's what makes me feel good is when I hear participants and teammates go through these things and go, yeah, it's different.
The perfect way to stamp it into your memory. You read, you learn, you look at PowerPoints, and then you see it in person. Now everything is just ingrained. You're filed away into this section. That's all, basic psychology. But no, that actually is a way to where you can actually take away what you've learned from it. You're not just reading a book. I'll forget everything I read in the book the next day.
And I have a learning disability, so I don't have the ability to read. So I get the win on that one.
There you go. Love it.
So, do you have anything you want to share that we haven't talked about?
Yeah, don't put me on the spot like that. I'm happy, man. I'm really excited to see my company grow and where it's going, and introducing this next chapter. We're getting to a point where I'm about to let the home inspection company run itself, so I can really take a step back and fully put my thoughts and my efforts onto the commercial side of things. Like I said, all morning today I was working on the proper logo, and I have about 10 different ones I'm piecing together to get down to the perfect one. They're all black and yellow.
Yeah. Nothing wrong with that. And it will make it easier. It'll make it easier when you don't have to change shirts in the middle of the day.
Yeah, right? Just turn it inside out. Let's be the other company. We'll just do that.
Yeah. I want to thank you. I mean, we sat here, we bantered around, but I am excited to see and to live vicariously through what you're going to be creating in the coming years.
Right.
First the coming months and the coming years in this evolution, because I truly believe, otherwise I wouldn't be sitting here, that this is the best next sustainability for the inspection world.
Mm-hmm. No, I hardcore agree with that. It's like I said, the amount that it's grown in the last couple of years alone, it's going to be just common practice that every transaction is going to get an inspection out there. And there's a lot of open holes where we need people to fill at this time.
Yep. It's I guess I could be silly, and say live long and prosper because of all the stuff behind you, but I see it. I love it. I can say, some other movie quotes of no, I was never a Star Wars fan. Or no, what was the line from the Die Hard? Oh, you're a fan of the Fat? No, I was a Star Wars fan.
Yeah, exactly.
When Bruce Willis was asked,
Trekkie all the way. I love all the Trek stuff, man.
Yeah. But I always end most of the things by saying stay safe and follow the ComStop. But man, you've already espoused the fact that the ComStop's the way to go, and that's what you're going to be using. So
absolutely.
So thanks a lot, Brent, for being here, and I'm going to see you the next time I'm in Colorado.
Absolutely. We're going to grab a beer here before you know it, man.
We'll talk to you soon.